So I'm Tony. I am the CEO of Korbit. Korbit is a Bitcoin exchange in Korea. So what is a Bitcoin exchange? Well, we enable people to buy and sell a new digital currency called Bitcoin. But to tell you my story, I first have to start with my previous company. Previously, I created a crowdfunding site to enable innovators and artists to receive money for their new projects. However, our crowdfunding site had a problem. The credit card companies would not allow the users to use credit cards to pay for the projects. The reason was that crowdfunding was a new type of business for the credit card companies, and they did not understand it. So they thought it was too risky. They did not understand the risk model. So they simply said we were not allowed to receive any payments. And this was, very difficult for our company because we needed payments to enable funding. So that's when I realized that sometimes the financial system itself can become a barrier to innovation. Because in the world of payments, if you want to do something innovative and new, then most likely it's going to be risky. And if it's too risky, then the payments would rather forbid it. So, but then, this is natural because the payment systems have a responsibility to their clients. And so if it's too risky, of course they have to forbid it. But I wasn't satisfied. I was looking for a payment system that can accommodate innovation. And I kept on looking, and when I saw Bitcoin, I thought I found an answer. So today I'm going to talk to you about Bitcoin. So first of all, what is Bitcoin? Well, I say Bitcoin is actually three things. First of all, obviously, it is a payment network. When you think of payment networks, you can think of, say, Visa. Visa is a payment network that connects credit card merchants and users with their bank accounts. PayPal is also a payment network enabling people to send money with each other. But going further, a game such as World of Warcraft also has a payment network within the game. What's special about all these things is that they are all created by a company. Visa is a company, PayPal is a company, World of Warcraft was created by a company. Well, what's different about Bitcoin is that people around the world said, you know what? This is the age of the internet. We can connect with each other. We do not need a company to connect us. So actually, people came together and created their own financial network. So this is a network without a central company. It is completely peer-to-peer with crowdsourcing. Okay, what else is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is also a currency. So in the Visa network and the PayPal network, you have the dollar as a currency. In World of Warcraft, you have gold as a currency. It's something that they created. In the Bitcoin network, people said, we can create our own network. We can also create our own currency. So Bitcoin has a user-created currency. It's also called Bitcoin. Okay, so what else is Bitcoin? I said Bitcoin is three things. Bitcoin is also a finance platform. And to understand platform, you can think of the iPhone and Android being a platform. So entrepreneurs and innovators can create apps and services for smartphones. Well, likewise for Bitcoin, it's also a platform. So entrepreneurs and innovators can create apps and services for finance and beyond. Okay, so that was Bitcoin, the three things. Well then, why do people like Bitcoin? Why is it becoming popular? In terms of the payment network, it's very low cost, it's very fast, and it's very certain. And it has to be like this because there is no company controlling it. So there's no company that you have to pay a fee. There's no employees that have to, rest on Saturday and Sunday. So you can send money across the world in an instant. And because there's no company to handle disputes, there can be no disputes. Every transaction has to be very clear. And Bitcoin found a way to make every transaction very clear. Okay, why is Bitcoin attractive as a currency? People find it attractive that it's a fixed quantity. There is no central entity that can print out more and more and more of the currency. So there is no inflation. So the value stays strong. Okay, so then why is it attractive as a finance platform? And the reason is that it is very open. It is an open source program, so anyone can review the code, anyone can contribute to the code, and anyone can expand it. So just as Linux and Android is open source, and all of the developers are working on those platforms, Bitcoin is also attracting a lot of developers and entrepreneurs because it is the most open financial platform. Okay, so that was the why. Now let's go to the how. How does Bitcoin achieve this? And as a user, it's very simple. All you have to do is type in someone's Bitcoin address, like an email address, and you put in how much you want to send, say like 1 Bitcoin, and then you click on send, and then you're done. Well, that's for the user, but what goes underneath? What is the actual infrastructure? And to understand this, you have to understand money. If you have paper money, you want to make sure that no one can create fake paper money, that it's hard to copy. So you have technologies like holograms. So it's hard to make a fake paper money. But in the digital world, that's not possible because anyone can create an exact digital copy of a file. So in the digital world, you need a database. You need a database of everyone's account and how much everyone has. So Visa, PayPal, World of Warcraft, these are all companies that make sure that the database stays correct, that there is no errors in the database, that it is protected from hackers. But then what about Bitcoin? Because I remember I told you Bitcoin does not have a company. So who will protect the Bitcoin database? Well, the answer is that Bitcoin uses the crowd. Actually, the whole world, every Bitcoin user has the same database. Bitcoin stores a database in every user's computer. So even if you try to change one, all the others stay the same. So it is a new innovation in finance, and that enables this crowd-sourced financial network. Okay, so what's the big meaning behind Bitcoin? What do I think is the big picture? And we talked about a lot of innovations today. The internet, there's also massively online courses, there's 3D printing, and I think they're all democratizing factors. So in the end, Bitcoin is a way to democratize finance. And I hope that you can all consider joining the Bitcoin movement. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Tony,
Tony, please.
can I ask you a question?
Sure, yeah.
How is this expanding and spreading in Korea at this point?
Okay, so yeah, before our company, Korbit, Bitcoin pretty much did not exist. So that's why we decided to create the company. For any Bitcoin ecosystem, you first need an exchange so people can buy and sell the currency. And so we decided to be the seed for the ecosystem. So that's why we decided to create an exchange. Yeah.
And at this point, is it mostly in Korea only?
Oh, Bitcoin is global. It's very popular in America and in China, actually. But it's because there is no boundary to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not aware of, countries at all. It's an internet phenomenon. So anyone can use it.
Great. I hope for the rest of the weekend we can find a way how we can expand this in Taiwan. Maybe.
Okay, very good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tony.